with your troops up in those areas eating smoke and those kinds of things. As you move east of Highway 101, your fine fuel moisture today is going to be down to about 2%. Everything really wants to burn. And once you get down there, you need to expect spotting as your embers come out of your lines or come out of your fuels and meet receptive live fuels and dead fuels. Your conditions are again going to be adverse along those ridge lines during the peak burning period. And definitely, if you're in those areas, be alert for heavy column development. A lot of smoke moving vertically. That's telling you you've got some active fire behavior about to sit down on top of you. So definitely have a heads up. You start to see things really starting to cook. For aviation, the smoke that's capping into these areas is really restricting the aviation. It's going to be pretty hit and miss. They've had problems on the north end getting aerial assets into there. Continue to expect to see those kinds of problems through the day. Things should start to clear out by about 14 to 1500 hours, but once that starts to clear out, again, your fire activity may increase substantially, and there may be a pretty major demand for those aviation resources in several areas of the complex. The safety message goes back to the red flag conditions. They produce aggressive fire behavior. Please evaluate the situation when you engage and as you go through your shift as what the fire behavior is doing, and then if you end up getting any wind shifts, we're not expecting a lot of serious wind today, but if you do start to get some of that wind channeling down into your area, that can change things very rapidly. Please, that can affect both the containment and it can affect the safety of your crew. Please consider the risk versus the gain and have a safe shift.
Well, I'm pleased to announce that over the last 24 hours we have had 0 heat-related injuries reported. Good job. Thank you. But keep pushing the fluids. It doesn't mean we let up now. You have to watch for that cumulative effect, again, I've been talking about. We got the fatigue working with us, with the days on end of heat. People are going to start becoming more irritable. Just remember, we all have a common goal, is to get these fires put out. There's a lot of different agencies and countries and states here. And we all may have different methodologies on how we do the job, but we all have the same common goal. Let's keep that in mind. With dehydration, just a little tidbit of information. If you lose 1% of your body water, that's when you get thirsty. That's start of dehydration. I'm working here in base camp, not a whole lot of physical exertion going on, and I'm thirsty all day. So I don't think you're going to be able to avoid being thirsty today, but don't ignore it. Keep the fluids coming in. Keep your situational awareness, and that applies to everything you do, not just being on the fire line, but getting there, getting back in base camp. You know, I tell my kids, be situational aware. You know what's going on around you at all times. Hazards are only going to increase. As we have fire on the ground, day in, day out, hazards are going to increase. We're going to have trees that are becoming more weak. We're going to have rocks that are going to be wanting to break loose and fall. We're going to have roads that are getting dustier and in worse shape. Remember, in this, especially in this heat, sunscreen, chapstick, keep those exposed body parts protected. If you don't have it, see the medical unit, they have some of that. If not, they can get it for you. And then an announcement, the shrouds on the badges can be removed as of sundown last night. They had their memorial service, and flags can go back to full staff. Remember to brief your crews on the IAP. Not everybody gets a copy of this, but share it, pass it around, let everybody read it. And have a good day. Thank you.
Good morning. Yesterday we got smoked out in the north. Probably have the same thing again today. We did concentrate all the copters into the south, timed them all out. The only change in your IAP is we did release the gel plant over to the Butte complex. Other than that, we'll plan on working the copters as much as we can in the south to work out the ore.
Good morning. Excellent job, as safety mentioned, with no reported heat illness. We want to continue that trend, continue to hydrate yourself in the morning. It's okay to stop if you're not feeling well. Take your Nomex off if you're in a place that allows you to do so, and get in the shade for a half an hour or 45 minutes if that's what it takes. Periodic breaks, pace yourself. I would rather have you do that and sacrifice a little bit of production rather than having to have somebody flown out here with a heat illness. Okay, so I want to make that's okay to do that. Sleeping arrangements. I'm concerned, the team is concerned about your ability to get a good night rest. So we've opened up this hall over here next door. It's air conditioned. Feel free when you come in off shift tonight to move into that facility, and hopefully that'll help you to get a little bit cooler night's rest. We're also going to be beating the brush to look for some additional tents and air conditioning units so that we can provide that work-rest cycle and quality sleep up at the Laytonville and Boonville camps as well. So the heat is going to dissipate in a couple of days, but it's not going to go away entirely. We're looking at some relief, but we're talking about minimal. Instead of being 108 or 109 in Covelo, it's only going to be 100. So we still have that to get through for another week to 10 days. I want to give you a little update on what's going on around us. Yesterday, the Butte fire, one of the fires in the Butte complex, escaped the containment lines, ran into the community of Concow, destroyed 50 homes. Mandatory evacuations are now in effect for 3,200 residences in the community of Paradise and Magalia. 2 fires escaped containment lines on the in Shasta complex yesterday. Large head fire is now poised to run into the community of Shasta and the communities Igo and Ono. Here on this incident, just I know you guys you're in branch 3, so I don't know